Hi, I'm Rick the Critic, and thank you for allowing me to come into your home today. My guest today is Vivian Stansel. She is an Olympic swimmer and a medal winner. And today, if you saw the show last week, we talked about swimming and all that. Today, we're just girl chat. Welcome, Vivian.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And I'm glad you're here. Vivian, we talked last time about the swimming and gold medals and all that, but you're also a wife and a mother.
Yes.
And for my viewers and even for myself, when we talk about, and you said how long, you've been married how many years?
34 long years.
So you can share some wisdom with us. Some of us, I do a luncheon for women and women pastors and pastors' wives. And even in our girl chat, and we're talking, do you think, Vivian, that things are different now with marriages than they are, than they were long ago? Do you think it's different? Because when you say 34 years, that suggests to me integrity, that suggests to me character, that suggests to me stability and commitment. And now we don't seem to see that anymore. People, I mean, you read in the magazines where people, they've been married 15 times and, we leaving and I'm just going. And I notice even in counseling, with leadership, when you're counseling, it's like, I'm just, I have girlfriends that have been in the ministry for a million years with their husbands, and then all of a sudden one day, it's just over. No thought, no nothing. What can you tell me about the difference? I mean, because like I said, there are things that go on, but you got to have some staying power. What is the secret?
Well, the secret is, number one, is prayer.
Yes.
That's the first thing. You must have prayer, because somebody can't be right all the time. And although I do have a mouth for me sometimes, and the Lord said, girl, get in the corner and shut up. So sometimes you have to let the man say what they want to say, even though they may not be right. But I really believe there's a give and a take in a marriage. And people don't take their marriage vows seriously today like they do. I think I love my husband just like I first met him. We were married July the 7th. And I love him the same way. He's patient with me. He doesn't raise his voice with me, And it's not a perfect marriage. There's some kind of concerns that I may have, and we can always talk about it.
That sounds like the main thing. It sounds like the communication is, I mean, you know what, I see young women, even now, Vivian, that, I mean, they'll just live with a guy, and it's like, oh, well, and they have children and they just live with a guy. And you think, and I know my grandmother used to tell me years ago, why buy the cow when you can get the milk?
That's true.
But even when you're talking to young women and you're saying to them, baby, why, he's not gonna buy the cow, he's getting the milk. It's like, oh, that's old school, that's this and that. And it's not. There's still integrity, there's still character.
Correct.
These moral issues are still the same today as they were millions of years ago.
Correct.
And so what I want our viewers and our girls to understand is that you have some worth. There's some worth in you, and you don't have to just put yourself out there like that.
Right.
When you talk about 30 plus years of marriage, like I said, that's stability. That is, what I'm saying, that's some integrity on your part and on Mr. Stansel's part. That's some commitment on your part and his part. You don't see that anymore. I have some friends that have been married 30 plus years. I have girlfriends whose husbands have died. They've been married and they die. But, and then I also have girlfriends that have just kind of like, well, You know, it's just not working anymore. You know, and I have to wonder, it's like, you know, what has happened? I think what I'm afraid of more than anything, Vivian, is that we will grow up as a society and we will not have that commitment anymore. We will not have that integrity anymore about marriage and vows. I want, and not just young people, but I see even older women that are living with guys. I mean, I met a woman not too long ago and she says, oh, I'm moving in with my boyfriend. And I thought, wow. You know, I was kind of speechless because I was thinking to myself, you know, she was old enough to know better. And I think she had been married before, but, you know, there was just nothing to that. And it just seems like our society is just kind of going to, even now when you talk to children about home, you know, owning a home, because when I was coming up, it's like, get a good job, you know, go to work and work hard and buy yourself a home and, you know, that's your security. You don't even really see that anymore, Vivian, with the children.
Well, one thing, there's not teaching in the homes no more because the mama is doing the same thing the daughters are doing. I know before we got married, I asked my husband, where's your mother? Simply, if he's treating his mother right, he's gonna treat you right.
Yeah.
If he ain't, you better leave that joker, let him go.
Yeah.
My husband, I wanted to know if he was working, where is his employer, and and I had children then. Did you chew tobacco, or what did you do? What was your life? Because my husband, before we married, he was quiet. I met him in the church. I know there's devils in the church too, you know, but I wasn't gonna pick up another devil. And so anyway, we really kind of, you know, learned about each other.
Yeah.
Are you in financial debt? And the same way with me, I was honest enough. We didn't marry till we got out of debt.
Yeah.
And this is, as you know of, this is most of the problems.
It sure is.
One of the partners, they get in debt with stuff. The other one is mad.
Yeah. You know, Vivian, and that's, you know what, I think what it is there's no conversation anymore. I heard you say a couple of things. You ask questions. It's like, do you chew tobacco? I mean, and even though it may seem very minor to somebody, if you don't like tobacco and you don't want to smell tobacco, you need to know that now.
Right.
And so I don't think that women are asking enough questions. It's almost like, let's just live together first and then we'll just get to know each other. And I think that's just not the way to go. You said some questions, you said some key things. It's like, what do you do? What kind of work? Are you in financial debt? And that is the biggest thing. That's the biggest killer of them all. That's the biggest culprit is finances.
Right.
When you get in and one is not working or one is working or one has no money saved and one, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole, that can just ruin, just cripple a relationship.
Right.
Because of the money.
And as a pastor, we need to ask these questions. I'll never forget, there was this lady and man used to come to our Bible study, and she said she loved him. I asked him, was he married? Yes, he was married. And so I say, you better get away from this Jezebel. Well, she didn't speak to me, and I happened to see her in the mall. She said, Vivian, thank you so much for being truthful.
Wow.
You know, I can't.
I mean, but you know what, Vivian, you gotta wonder how desperate is a woman to even get involved with a married man. That is, I mean, that's desperation at a very high level.
Yes.
And even you sitting there as a pastor and saying, I mean, I don't even know why you would have to say, you better leave this rascal.
That's
to me,
right.
it would seem like some common sense. But the desperation and these silly women, the women are so silly
Yes.
right now. They just, I see them on the pictures, and everything is almost like a soft porn. I mean, you can't even get a movie anymore without seeing breasts and behind and all this shaking and all this. You know, it's
Right.
like, and it's almost like they think that they have to put out all of that in order to gain some respect, you know, from the men.
But Rick, we are living in the signs of the times.
Yes.
So none of this should be really surprising to us.
No, it's not. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if we can take care of our own, of like Vivian, because I'm not to judge you either, and everything, and God is allowing us to see this because it's fulfillment of the Bible.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but if you can reach somebody and teach somebody, that's great. That's great.
Well, it's coming to a point. I look at our young people, and I'm thinking, you know, what can we do? What can we do for our young people? Because they've got to get motivated. Our young kids are dying. Our young kids, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and she said that her nephew had just committed suicide, and my heart was just like this. But that's not the first time I've heard that. I hear it so much in young people, and in my mind I'm thinking, at 20, at 15, at 14, at 12,
Right.
What are you hanging yourself for? Why are you committing suicide? I mean, you haven't even lived.
Yes.
You've not even lived. I remember, Vivian, when if somebody was bullying you, when they got to your door, your mother told you, if you don't go back out there and
That's
handle
true.
that, I'm gonna whoop you. Now, who
That's
you
true.
want to deal with, me or them? And you went out and you fought, and it was finished, and the next day you were friends.
That's
you
true.
were laughing and talking, and it was over. Now it's a different type of situation,
Yes.
and it's to a point now where these children are, I mean, they're hanging and killing themselves because there's no acceptance. And it's like, acceptance of what? We are about to take a break, but I really want you to think about an answer. You know what I'm saying? Because we are just looking for answers. And I know that as a pastor, I know that God gives you wisdom on a lot of things. And I would really like for you to share with us exactly, because that bullying thing, it's just, it's unbelievable to me. I cannot imagine. I keep thinking, you live to fight another day. You know, you just get up and you
Right.
fight, and that's it. But listen, we're going to take a station break, and we'll be back in 1 second.
Thank you.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic.
That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids.
We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone.
And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education.
HSF.net.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face! In your face!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
If you're just joining us, my guest today is Vivian Stansel, and we're talking about family and marriages and all that. And Vivian, before we went off for a station break, I was just asking you about, we were talking about bullies and stuff. Tell me your stance, your stance on this.
Okay, my stance, as I remember, we always had bullies in schools. Somebody would steal my lunch. Someone would steal the little 25 cents out of my purse. But bullying today is at a different level. We always had bullies because I used to fight all the time. And and didn't know what I was fighting about. Yeah.
It's like I said, our mothers, you run home, your father and mother, or you had a sister or a brother, and the crowd gets around you, and then somebody may push you, and or push the other person, and your brother or sister was right there, and they would watch it, and it's like, okay, if anything goes wrong, I'm standing right here. And most of the time, it would end very quickly, and like I said, the very next day, you guys were friends. You were friends.
Right. Do you remember when you was a child and they used to prick a little pin in your skin and say, "You're my friend"?
Oh yeah, blood brothers.
Yes, yes. Well,
yes.
And anybody touch you, they would have gotten it.
Yeah.
But see, we used to have the neighborhood watch, where we can go to if mama or daddy wasn't at home, we could go to that house where the mother or the grandma was at home. Who's at home now? Some people, some parents have 2 and 3 jobs.
Yes.
And the kids are latchkey kids.
Yes.
So the kids don't know any better. It costs money to go to the Y. A lot of time it's so expensive the parents can't afford to put them in the Boys and Girls Club. We're gonna have to go back to the basics where mothers and fathers can watch kids that's coming home when their parents are not there.
I think, and that makes a lot of sense, and I've said it several times in this program. It used to be someone in the neighborhood that would say,
correct,
what you doing over here? Why are you in this? Where are you? And if you went outside of your little neighborhood and an adult saw you, it's like, aren't you so-and-so's daughter? What you doing over here?
That's correct.
And they just kind of rushed you back on to where you came from. And everyone knew everyone. You had cousins, and the family unit was very close. It was right in that, just maybe in a 6-mile radius was everyone. And so you could go to your grandmother's house within 6 miles, your uncle, your aunt, your aunt, everyone was right there. And I think that family structure has been broken down, and we need to get back to that.
Correct.
Now the seniors, and I'm thinking about it because there are a lot of seniors that live alone. There are a lot of seniors that are very active. I just wonder how we can incorporate those children with those seniors, because seniors bring about a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
They bring about a lot of, I don't want to say discipline, but they bring about.
They did that too.
They do that too, but that's not a big part of. Seniors just have they have a lot to share. They have a history, they have a lot of love to share, and they are very knowledgeable. They can tell you so many things. How can we incorporate our children with seniors?
We, first of all, have to make a difference. Welfare during that time in the state of California, you had to live in California for 2 years. And during that time, there were seniors in the neighborhood that would feed you. I remember coming home from school, I can stop at Miss Ann's house and get me something to eat. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Mm-hmm. We have to start making a difference. Since we have the mental problems of people, we have the sexual problems of men and women, we that know that to do right, we must do what is right. Now, my neighborhood knows they can come to me anytime to talk if they need food. My neighborhood will never go hungry because they know who to come to. Mm-hmm. Their children will stop, you know. And they want me to read a book, so my husband will read a book to them. See, we have to be that beacon light.
Yeah. So how did you start them to come? How did you invite them to come? Why are they so comfortable coming to your home?
Friendly. Show yourself friendly. Show yourself trustworthy. Believe me, if anything, and I used to work in the Long Beach School District. With the school district, the children know when you was dishonest. You have to be honest. You have to be trustworthy. Yeah. Show yourself friendly.
Yeah, children do. You can't fool them. You really can't. Yeah,
right.
You really can't fool them. They do know when you're being dishonest.
And they looking for love and compassion. Where is the compassion? Even our dog know we're compassion toward her.
Yeah. I know that something has got to change. Every time I listen on the television, on the radio, another little boy is killed, another little, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just getting to be just a bit much. So what I'm asking is a challenge right now. The same thing that you do in your neighborhood, I am challenging the viewers to make yourself friendly.
Yes.
Make yourself friendly with the young men and the young women in the neighborhood. Make them feel comfortable about coming to you for a sandwich or coming to you to talk. And you said, that's just making yourself friendly, Vivian. You said just showing yourself friendly.
Yes. Yes, and this is what the young people, I believe, missing out on is love. A plain agape love. You know, you can get young people to do anything for you if you show some love toward them, some compassion. And this is where we're missing the mark.
Well, I tell you, if we continue on the path that we're going, they will become lost to gangs. They will become lost to the police. They will become lost to just a bunch of other heinous entities. And I think that for the most part that I'm tired of seeing lost children. I really am. And I know that it's a trick of the enemy, because I know that he's not after them, he's after the destiny that they have. And they are the ones with the energy and the you know, the goals. I mean, they have the energy. They can fight. We have to start to train them to be able to do the things that we want them to do.
Right.
We have 5 minutes, and Vivian, tell us a little bit about your foundation. I know you said that you feed them, but your foundation just seems to be so much more than just feeding.
Yes, matter of fact, that's the religious organization where we feed them. Now, for the sports organization, we provide scholarships for those men, those women, those youth and children that can't afford to go to their competition for games. That's why we're having a gala in January. We need the support of the public.
And where is it going to be held?
It's going to be held at the Riverside City Hall on the 7th floor. We have a huge patio there, and that's January the 30th from 5 until 8 o'clock. And if they would like to contact me regarding that, it's $75. And if they'd like to contact me, my number is area code 562-400-0959.
Okay, and you are a nonprofit organization.
I am a nonprofit.
So that means tax deductions. Yeah, and so when you raise the money, it will be to assist with the scholarships for the children.
Correct.
That's a great cause. And you also, I talked to you about swimsuits and other, I heard you say something about prevention of drowning.
Yes, that'll be our classes for non-swimmers.
Okay, and that is the fundraiser part too.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we have that fundraiser for the children, or for not just children, adults, anyone that is drowned.
That's right.
And we have a lot of statistics on drownings. I remember a very dear friend of mine had a nephew visiting, and he got out somehow and got into the swimming pool and drowned. You know, and if that little guy had known how to swim, so your organization teaches him how to swim.
Correct.
And so if that guy would have known how to swim, he probably just would have been out there making noise and swimming until he got tired, and then he'd just get on out the pool. So it is very important that we do have an understanding that there are a lot of people out there drowning. So this is the reason for that.
87% of people, adults, drown. That's pretty high.
87%?
Correct.
Are drowning?
Of drowning.
Are you saying that with statistics and deaths, like shootings and all that, you're saying 87%?
Correct.
That's an awful high number.
Yes, it is. Every time I hear of a child or a person drowns, my heart thinks, if I could only get to them, to have lessons taught to them.
87%.
Correct.
That's staggering.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute, Vivian. That's got 87% of. That's kind of okay.
Adults. This was in the what was it? It's called diversity. It's not even an athletic study. It was out of the East Coast.
Okay. Well, listen, that is staggering. That's staggering.
It was scary to me.
It is. It's the numbers are staggering, and the numbers are even scarier. They're frightening. I would love for you to come back and visit us again.
I would love
and our
to come
time
back.
is winding down. As soon as we start to have fun and get into a conversation, our time starts to wind down. But I would love for you to come back after the Nationals. I would love to come back and we talk about family, because I just got a wealth of information today. Would you please come back and see us again?
I certainly will.
Thank you so much, Vivian,
Thank
for
you.
coming. And well, I just love, I hope to see you again. We'll see you next week.